In yesterday's video, this frenetic pillow salesman and persistent Trump ally in the big lie of election fraud was mentioned due to the fact the Canadian company Dominion is suing him and other Trump acolytes for very large sums of money as a result of their defamatory conduct in the post-election period, during which this crew of mendacious opportunists or mentally ill clowns, and to be honest, I waver back and forth as to which they are, and sometimes I even think they may be both. But in any case, you're about to see a replay of a video I posted 7 months ago featuring pillow peddling Mike and his relationship to the Orange Menace. As it is ending, I mentioned challenging planetary aspects from 2021 to 2023, but now I'm adding some extra information at the end that is relevant in light of the fact he is in the crosshairs of a major lawsuit that might cost him a lot of money. Not content with hanging around the White House in Trump's last days while suggesting martial law as an option to Trump's election loss, Lindell, affectionately known as the Pillow Guy, yesterday found himself at Newsmax, a station now on notice that a continuance of their November and December lies and made-up conspiracies about the supposed role of Dominion voting machines is going to get them sued for a ton of money. So when Mad Mike here began to bellow in the usual Sidney Powell style that he had absolute proof of fraud that he would present later, it's always later because he doesn't have any now and won't later either, but this postponement lying technique is what they learned from the delusion master himself, the Orange Menace. So the attendant Newsmax man pushed back hard and eventually left the camera for good measure. Soon after that, the Pillow Guy left too, leaving the blonde lady all by herself and leaving the rest of us with another documented episode of the current state of right-wing news media. No birth time for the Pillow Man, but using the day positions, you can see that you don't necessarily need a Neptune conjunction, square, or opposition to be deceptive and delusional. A trine will do nicely if other areas of the chart provide the dynamic juice, which in this case is nicely accomplished by the Venus-Uranus square, endowing Pillow Mike with entrepreneurial spirit, but also turning him into a rebel with a phony cause. The Neptune trine Sun and Mercury is admittedly a nice aspect if you are going to sell pillows, since they are presumably for sleeping, and Neptune is a natural ruler of the 12th sign of sleep, while Cancer is, after all, the sign of home and comfort. And being born on a full moon can be auspicious, unless you get the other side of the coin, which can put you in the unhinged category. I think it's pretty clear where this dude is. It's fascinating to see how Pillow Mike interfaces with Trump's chart. First, he illustrates the rule that the lunar nodes get fascinated with other people's chart points. And so there you have his north node right on Trump's ascendant, so that he can really, truly, incredibly, and forevermore identify with Don the Con's Leo personality. And since Mars is nearby, and they both share the same Mars, you can bet this is true love or true obsession depending on how cynical you are. At the same time, the chart connections between Donald and Pillow Mike also illustrate Trump's penchant for attracting and placing trust in people who ultimately damage him. Notice that the Pillow Man's Sun and Mercury are near Donald's 12th sign Mercury, which, like the node contact, goes to a kind of shared identification, but given how obviously demented this pillow merchant is, the last thing you would need is to have your already compromised thinking via Mercury stimulated by the Mercury meanderings of a fool, so you can ensure you'll definitely make the wrong decision on things. Now, if it turns out that Goofy Mike was born from midnight to early afternoon, that moon will join the Sun and Mercury in the Access Hollywood T trigger, but from Capricorn, pretty much guaranteeing to do damage to the Donald. And do you want to find sooner or later major trouble from someone you really shouldn't be hanging with? Well, then there's Pillow Saturn opposite Trump's 12th house Venus Saturn. That's the criminal and prison house. I wonder, who knows, maybe they'll testify at each other's trials or end up doing time together? And since the Pillow Peddler is such a nice man, so upright and ethical, here's wishing the best result from the Saturn and Uranus pressure during 2021 on his Neptune-Jupiter square. Here's hoping those planets aren't somewhere tricky in his chart so that he can avoid getting some kind of bad result or bad karma or whatever. And if not, there's always next year and the year after that and when it will be Venus getting the Saturn treatment in 22 and Uranus in 23. So here's the thing. I did mention 2022 and 2023 feature potential trouble through both transiting Saturn and Uranus as they push into that Uranus-Venus square. But I should have stressed that since Venus is a Taurus planet, which is the primo sign of money, this immediately warns about potential losses, and that Saturn getting into Pisces in the spring of 2023 would be fairly good for Goofy Mike by appearing to stop harassing his fixed planets. But it does come back to station in very early Pisces in November of 23, which means that the very late Leo Mars still gets snagged even then, and this means there is effectively full Saturn and Uranus pressure through all of the year 2023. And to make matters worse, Uranus continues moving forward to eventually catch up to that Mars by square in 2025. In other words, there is a lot of time runway for this demented hustler to meet the results of his karma, and I suspect that, be it through the Dominion lawsuit or some other avenue, my sense is his planets are signaling years of monetary losses up ahead. Perhaps he will reach a point when no one wants his pillows or anything else he wants to pitch. May it be so, because I think we would all sleep better as a result.